Young Life College is so special because everyone focuses on kids and their faith, but there's like a really high statistic of how many kids walk away from their faith in college. And I think the best way to reach out to college kids is through relationships. I'm a Young Life College leader because, I don't know, the Lord pushed me to it. I kind of thought my role in ministry was going to be with kids because everyone loves to be around kids. And then a couple of different areas of my life, the Lord was like, hey, I want you helping out with your peers.
One thing that I found that every college student still desires, and it's been the same since the beginning of time, is to be known and to feel a part of a community and be loved. When I found that in college, that was the thing that changed everything, was when I felt known and appreciated and cared for and loved.
College is hard, and there's so many ways that people can pick apart at you, and you're supposed to have everything figured out and you don't. And so just having someone that their purpose is to know you well and to love you and to support you, it's just been really cool because it's not just me. It's like a mutual relationship. Young Life College is a really cool environment to be in, to be known in. There's so many organizations that tell you what to do, tell you how to be ready for your future, but there's not a lot that just focus on building community. And I think Young Life does that really well because it's so relationship focused, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you're at or what you have as your biggest priority in life. Like, we just want to love people.
Buckeyes, baby.
Summer Staff is a job opportunity for college-age students to come and volunteer at a Young Life camp, and it is unpaid and service-based.
Summer Staff is one of the funnest things you'll ever get to do in serving kids in Young Life.
Our job is to keep this camp absolutely pristine and provide a great environment for kids to have fun and encounter Jesus.
I had heard that it's hard work, but mostly fun. Everyone that I talked to had said that it was like literally the best month of their life.
I did Summer Staff last summer, and it was just an incredible experience, and I just wanted to continue it and have another opportunity.
I remember I had a really good summer job lined up, and I turned it down to go, and my parents were very confused.
Because it's just me and my mom, so you're leaving me for a whole month? That was definitely a little stressful for her.
If the center of my life is Christ, I'm gonna try and make that the #1 time priority in my life.
Summer Staff is extremely hard work. They're getting up sometimes at 5 a.m. to go run rides or cook breakfast for people with a heart of service.
I work at the cart, so I gotta get up every morning at like 5:45.
We have to be in the kitchen by 6 o'clock in the morning.
I work in the bakery. We make desserts, cookies. Today we made apple pie.
We just got done with our jobs, we took no nap, and we're just up working, grinding, making sure everything looks nice.
You're gonna work the whole time, and if you have that mindset, I gotta keep pushing, then it's not that bad.
Just being in the snack bar, like, that's so much fun. Yes, you get dirty, but it's amazing.
If we didn't do the stuff we're supposed to do right, it wouldn't be the great experience for a camper. This could be the moment that they find Jesus.
I am making a difference with the campers because I get to see their smiles and like happiness through the door, and then their smiles and happiness going out the door.
When I come to Summer Staff, I come with an expectation to be challenged in my team working abilities, to be challenged spiritually, more than any other club that I've joined in college or class or leadership training that I've had, summer staff is what has driven my character development. When you arrive and you meet your summer staff coordinator, they are with you every step of the way, and they support us from snacks and food to coaching us through spiritual stuff. And they also provided us with devotional books when we got here.
We do devos every day, and right now we're going through the book of Mark.
God is teaching me through this experience to just be patient with others, have fun, and be present in Him.
And when you come on summer staff, you get to grow in your relationship with the Lord, take that intimacy that much deeper. You get unity through a team of people that you never thought you would be in unity with, which is a kingdom.
My favorite is growing together and getting to know the people around me. The work won't be as hard because you're with family.
We're all different. We look different. We come from different places.
A lot of different backgrounds, which has been so cool. That's probably been my favorite part.
You just learn from the people around you, hearing different perspectives on the word.
Sometimes it's crazy to think we've only known each other for a week, but we've laughed together, we've cried together.
Every time I would leave working at a Young Life camp, I felt that that was the best job I'll ever have. But it was probably the hardest I'll ever work, hopefully.
Being on summer staff is making me appreciate camp just 10 times more. Just realizing how many times people have done this for me and my boys. It's just amazing.
Because you're struggling together, you're having fun together, you're winning battles together, and you're going together in the end.
It's really fun, and you should totally do it.
Totally worth it.
If you have like half an inkling that you want to do it, just go for it.
You're not just working for yourself, you're working for a greater goal, which is the gospel and the kingdom of God.
When I came into college, I wouldn't say that I had any faith at all. I had a very negative mindset towards the church, towards Christianity in general. I didn't want anything to do with any organization. I didn't know about Young Life, but if someone had invited me to Young Life my first couple years of college, I would have absolutely said no. But it was because of someone who was involved with the Young Life community that I was able to ask questions in a really safe space and in a really non-judgmental space. And through that, I really came to like my own relationship with God and an understanding of why Jesus was so essential.
My faith has grown in college primarily because of Young Life College. I'm originally from Texas, and so I was coming to Nebraska, and I didn't have a church. I didn't have like the community that I had back in Texas. I never kind of kept up with the relationship that I wanted to have. So at the very end of my sophomore year, I reached out to Young Life Lincoln, and they gave me Ben's number. Ben knew that I was motivated to get involved and all that, but he also knew I was scared of committing to that. But that was one thing that Ben did not give up on, was me getting more involved.
One thing I really have loved about Young Life College here at Nebraska is that I felt so welcomed by both guy and girl leaders. My first college event I ever went to was last January. I actually had never been involved in Young Life at all in high school. I ended up just showing up by myself, and the first person I saw as I walked in the door was Juan. He welcomed me, asked me my name, got to know me, and just really got me involved and showed that he cared that I was there, and that really meant a lot.
Young Life College is so special in my opinion because it's all about coming as who you are. Whether you're a believer or a non-believer, you're surrounded by this community of people that truly love and care for you.
Everyone should come to Young Life just because it's such an amazing community. You're around people that will push you in your faith, that will ask you hard questions, but also care about what you have to say as a response.
Young Life College is so important because it provides a space for people, regardless of their faith, regardless of where they are in their walk, to come to a place where they can ask questions, where they can meet people who are going through the exact same thing that they are, and being able to ground them with something like faith, convincing them that Jesus is worth having a relationship with, he's worth spending time on, and still loving them regardless of their response to that it's just the greatest honor that I could ever have.
Go Knights, charge on.
Diversity at Memphis Young Life is very unique because just the fact that Memphis is unique. There's so many different areas and schools, and they all have different class and race and just culture. And Memphis Young Life really displays that, and University of Memphis really displays that, of diverse people with different backgrounds. And at College Young Life, we get to come together and just have one goal, is just have fun, learn about Jesus, and be ourselves. A lot of people from my school, I actually went to school with, I led them, and now we enjoy College Young Life together. So it's been a kind of cool experience to go through all those stages and actually get a chance to enjoy College Young Life and get to just be ourselves and be involved in intentional relationships and intentional conversations.
To be able to try and bring cultures together, there can be challenges in that, but there's also very natural inroads and avenues for that happening. And the place that I've seen that the most is kids that have been involved with Young Life in high school and are coming to Memphis. They already trust it. They know whatever shape, color, class they are, that they're going to be welcomed when they walk through the door.
Young Life College feels like home. I don't know if it's the club room we use, but it feels like home. You can just be you and just enjoy being poured into by the great leaders and a great opportunity to be around people that's just like you, that just want to belong and just want to have fun and just want to be known.
What is going on, Young Life College? Welcome to Club. Woo! I'm assuming that you're cheering and going crazy wherever you are. I'm going crazy. I'm excited about this club. The entire United States is invited. You're kidding me. I hope you guys are happy and healthy and well and all those things. I've said welcome to Club about 1,000 times in my life, and this is the first time I've ever said it just to a cell phone. I wish that we could be in person. I wish that I could be with you guys doing this thing, but we can't, and that is unfortunate, but we're going to have a good time tonight anyway. I want to say that I feel you. I am a musician, as you can see. I'm going to play a song for you in just a second. But I'm also a Young Life College director. And so I know how badly I want to be with my people. I can only imagine you want to be with your people too. But we'll get through this together. So I get to play a song for you guys real quick to start off the night. This song nobody's really ever heard. You're the first to hear it. And I think that's special to get to play it for you all. It's called Hope On. There's not a lot we can control. I mean, right now is a great situation to be an example. But we just keep doing the little things. Just keep loving each other well, keep serving each other well, and keep hope alive. So I hope you like this song. Then we'll be off to a dope club right after this. You say a devil plays on our idle hands, but he works our idle hearts. Well, I hear a hammer toll, I'm bitter in my soul, it's breaking me apart. Can't see it like I should, can't see it like you're good, can't love you like you're mine. Well, let's share some hallowed ground. Let's shake this devil down. Let's see what we can find. Oh, neighbor, don't you know this life's a so and so? We feel it till we go, but we're loving every day. Damn, any other way, ain't nothing else to know. We hold. We hope on. Well, I wrote this one for me to remind me who to be. Remember that I'm free. And if I'm free, then why? Not for mansions in the sky, but heaven on the streets. Another day to lose, another life to choose, another way to die. Another soul to heal, another hole to fill, another way to life. But oh neighbor, don't you know, this life's a so and so. We feel it till we go, but we're loving every day. Damn, any other way, ain't nothing else to know. We hope on. We hope on. I wrote this one for me to remind me who to be. Remember that I'm free. And if I'm free, then why? Not for mansions in the sky, but heaven on the streets. Oh neighbor, don't you know, this life's a so and so. We feel it till we go. We're loving every day. Damn, any other way, ain't nothing else to know. We hope. We hope on. We hope on. We hope on.
real quick before I have to jump on another Zoom. Let me see if I can text my friend Taylor, who unfortunately did not make the Zoom small group last night. I texted him last night and said, let's Zoom it. Tay?
Blake? Hey, man. Is it noon?
It's actually 10:20 or so.
This is early.
Well, sounds like that whole routine thing we talked about right at the beginning of COVID is really working out well. How's mom and dad's place for you?
It's great. Lots of couch space.
Well, I was just thinking about you because I got up this morning and ran to Dunkin' Donuts, for the kids.
Man, I always love it when you buy me donuts.
Speaking of breakfast, how have you been? How's your nutrition been?
Yeah. I think if I do the camera flip thing. Now listen, I've been eating a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
But have you had Dino Bites?
I don't even think I've ever heard of those.
It's 100%
still a great
all
chicken
natural.
company. Hey, Tay, you want to do something fun?
Yes.
Hey, I've been trying to get breakfast with a guy once a week virtually, and I hadn't done that with you yet. So would you want to make some breakfast together and just kind of sit and chat a little bit?
Yeah. I can put the Pop-Tart in the microwave really well.
Oh no, I've been doing this thing where I teach all my friends an old recipe that my family used to do growing up. It's called egg in a hole, or toad in a hole, or egg in a basket. It's got all kinds of names, but it's a really fun thing, and you only need about 7-8 ingredients. As long as you got a stove and a skillet.
I know where the stove is. It looks like there's a skillet on top of it. Probably just go ahead and use that.
So why don't you just like I'm doing here, why don't you get that stove top going, and then
okay, it's going.
Maybe throw some butter. Maybe throw throw just a little bit of butter. Yeah, butter. All you're gonna need, Tay, is a piece of bread, an egg, and some honey.
Oh, okay, honey.
So I got the butter kind of cooking there. I'm just gonna throw the.
Mom makes us get the organic honey. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine, man. Yeah,
I think she said there's
that's a good thing. My wife does that some too, but.
And then bread.
You want to get a piece of bread. Just kind of put some butter on the skillet and get that thing going. And then, as you'll see here, I've got a mason jar. We're gonna take that piece of toast there, and once it's kind of browned a little bit, you want to take and cut you a little hole out of the center there with that. We get a little smoky vibes there.
Okay.
Just cut you a hole out and take that hole out there. Yeah, looking great, man. Looking great.
Okay. I wasn't really paying attention to what you were doing, but okay. I've got that, the butter down. Now,
so I've got. You notice here, I'm gonna do a little egg crack on the side, little single hand because of the zoom there, and I'm just you'll see that eggs just start frying.
So egg right in the bread. One hand. There it is.
Okay, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, kind of the
Ryan, right
kind of the idea was for the egg to go in the. Yeah, but
watch this. Look, now I can just
once it kind of take a look at my screen here.
I think it's exactly the same.
You see, I did the.
Yeah.
You see, I did the flip.
Yeah. So I'll.
You did a little bit of the inverse operation. But,
I don't know what that thing you were using. Is that like a? And then we flip it over, and you can just put that
that's
right
actually
down.
For hot dogs there, Taylor.
Hey, I know you've always told me that I can be open and honest with you. I'm going to do that, kind of give it a shot. I've really never cooked before. So this is not easy, man. Okay?
Hey, we're here for you. Here's kind of what mine looks like, and then I like to take the honey, and I call this just doing the honey around the money there, around the edges on the circle. Hey, would you mind doing something real quick? Would you mind putting that on a plate and
Okay.
kind of head over to the table? And I want to get a screenshot of us having breakfast together.
Okay, that's great.
If you don't mind, just holding up your plate there, and I want to try to get. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a little screenshot of us having.
You're supposed to look like that.
I'm gonna just pan out. You ready?
Yeah. It's 10:30. Okay.
3, 2, 1. But hey, listen, man. I've got to get on a Zoom. It was just so good to see you, man. Glad you're doing well, man. I'm hoping for the fall. Can't wait to get back in the student section with you again, and watch some football.
I'm all in. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. Have a great day, and look, hey, remember next Thursday, a week from today, April 30th. It's an all U.S. Young Life College virtual club. It's going to be fantastic.
That guys and girls?
Yeah. Not like the small groups. This is going to be co-ed. It's going to be live. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
That's great.
Well, listen, man, I'd love to chat, but I got to go. I'm going to do a Zoom in the car because I got to run by the
That's great.
And get the grocery pickup. So,
okay, I'm going to just get a little more.
Buddy. See you, buddy.
All right, see you, man.
See you, Tay.
What? Oh, yeah. All right, see you later, man.
She say I'm a triple, honey, welcome to Trivago. Tell me who you know, who is you tripping for a follow? Ball in the air like Showtime at the Apollo. Puffing up your chest, the next thing you know is hollow. But well, hello, I've been swinging like some jello. If God wanted a fun guy, he gets some portobello. So I guess I need some grease up on my elbow. Yeah, but now my light turned yellow.
Hey folks, my name is AJ and I'm on staff in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pardon my appearance, this quarantine has me looking like a mix between Robin Williams from Jumanji and Happy Gilmore's caddy. But that's not important right now. What's important is that you're getting what you deserve, which is prizes. So thank you for filling out our many sweepstakes on our Instagram page this week. First off, we're gonna announce the 3 Brands 1 Cause winner, who is, drumroll please, Tanaya Brad from Texas State Young Life. Congratulations, Tanaya.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Next up, we have the winners of the Young Life sweatshirt, so thank you for tagging your high school senior friends on our Instagram page. You are going to see your names if you won on our story, Young Life College and University Instagram story, and thank you for tagging your seniors. High school seniors, you are going to want to head to the link in our bio and click the Find Us page to fill out your information so that we can connect you with the Young Life College at your university. Summer staff, we still need your help this summer, so please sign up for summer staff from the link in our bio. Also, you can talk to your area director about that, and if you've already signed up for summer staff, you should get a questionnaire in your email that you can fill out in order to sign up and tell us when your availability is. Guys, we are taking trips all across the country to Young Life camps this fall, so you are not going to want to miss out on that. This fall, when you get to your college or university, find Young Life and block off that weekend that they are going to Young Life camp. You do not want to miss it. Some of you may know Pete Hardesty, who is the author of the book Adulting 101. It's one of my favorite books, and he actually signed this copy. I'll read the note he wrote me. He says, "Dear AJ, your lack of hygiene and budgeting skills inspired me to write this book. Thank you. Love, Pete." Seriously, the guy has incredible wisdom on what it means to be an adult. So please, if you're a graduating senior in college, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, go to the link in our bio and find this seminar that Pete gave on adulting in the real world. It's incredible stuff. One last thing. Bob Dalton from Sackcloth and Ashes runs this awesome company where every time he sells a blanket, he gives one away to a homeless shelter. And you're going to get to hear from him later tonight, which is incredible. But Bob wanted to give away 5 of these custom Young Life Sackcloth and Ashes blankets. So soft, so nice. He's going to give 5 of those away to people that are following the Young Life College and University Instagram account. So if you don't already, follow Bob on Instagram, follow Young Life College and University on Instagram. You're already into that raffle, and at the end of club tonight, at the very end, scroll through our story and we're going to announce the 5 winners for those blankets. Hang tight and we'll see what's next.
Hey folks, the name's Joby. Joby Kenobi. I'm long lost brother to Obi-Wan, Jedi Master. Am I a Jedi Master, you ask? Not quite. But you know what they say? Is a caterpillar a butterfly? Nope. But sorta. When I'm not busy slaying Sith Lords with my laser sword, I'm at my corner booth at Denny's, slaying short stacks and bacon. I go there often. People say I remind them of Luke Skywalker. Well, I say nay. Less like Skywalker, more like Sky Zone trampoline park. Why, you ask? 1, because when I fall, I always bounce back. 2, it's because I'm in desperate need of sanitization. Hey, you want to spend your Friday night with this guy? Oh, it'll be risky, but nice. Well, why am I here, you ask? Well, folks, if Joby Kenobi wants to be a Jedi Master, I need to get me one of them Padawans. And what better time to test the force sensitivity of a bunch of strangers than over a Zoom call during an international quarantine? Okay. What do you say, folks? Why don't we shift into 4-wheel drive and tighten up the back straps of our Crocs and get down to business? Force jump! Hey y'all, Joby Kenobi here on the Zoom call, and I'm here with 3 of my friends. We got Lucas from Boise State.
Go Broncos.
We got Riley from Kansas. And we got Sarah from Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, folks. Now, in order to do this Padawan training we got going on right now, okay, we're going to play a little game. And what I need for you guys to do is search your house to find some sort of cookie. Do you have an Oreo cookie or something similar size and stature? Go ahead and hold it up when you got it. Okay, we got Oreos and we got a chicken nugget. Sarah's got a chicken nugget. Way to go, Sarah. It's going to be incredible and delicious. All right, so friends, this is what we're going to do. You're going to balance that Oreo, or in Sarah's case, her chicken nugget, on your forehead. And without using your hands, you're going to work that cookie down your face and into your mouth. You guys got it? All right, I'm going to count us down, and when the music starts, we're going to get going. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! This is unbelievable. Oh, cookie down. Nugget in the eye. We got a little nugget in the eye. We're working. Oh, Riley! We have a winner. Riley is our champion. Give it up for Kansas, everybody. A winner in Kansas. Well done. Hey, Riley, do you have anything you'd like to say to the crowd?
Shout out to all the pairs.
All the pairs. Hey friends, thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. Joby Kenobi out.
What's up, Young Life College? My name is Tim Halperin. Stoked to digitally be here with you this evening for club. I'm gonna play a couple songs. Here we go. I would do anything for you. Build a castle up around you if I could figure out how to. And I would fight anyone for you If you got a bone to pick with King Kong, I would tell him bring it on, yeah. So tell me what you want, tell me what you need. I'll give it all I got, give you everything. Tell me what to say, tell me how to be there for you. Tell me what you need. Yeah, what you need, yeah. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need, yeah. What you need. And I would buy anything for you. We can move to the White House, I just take a loan out. And I would go anywhere for you. Darling, if you're saying pretty please, I would sail the 7 seas. So tell me what you want, tell me what you need. I'll give it all I got, give you everything. Tell me what to say, tell me how to be there for you. Tell me what you need. Yeah, what you need, yeah. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. What you need. I could see the look in your eyes. Tell me what it takes to make it alright. I hope that you can see that I would do anything for you to make it through the night. And tell me what it takes to make it alright. I hope that you can see that I would do anything. So tell me what you want, tell me what you need. I'll give it all I got, give you everything. You tell me what to say, tell me how to be there for you. You tell me what you need. What you need, yeah. What you need. Yeah, what you need, yeah. Oh, I love playing that song. That one's called Tell Me What You Need, obviously. I'd love to do one more for y'all tonight, and it's a song that I want to play because I feel like it really connects with where I've been at the last few weeks, just in terms of my head and my heart. There's a passage in 1 Thessalonians that says we should be thankful in every circumstance because of what Jesus has done for us. And that passage has just been hitting me hard the last couple of days because I've realized that I've been anything but thankful in the last several weeks. I feel like I've just really been missing all the things that I feel like have been taken from me. And I find myself reminiscing on the past a lot and longing for the future, thinking about how great things were before this started and hoping for the time when it'll all be over and life will be back to normal. But I realize that I haven't been living in the present and I haven't been thankful. And this is a song that talks about second chances. And thankfully, we have a God who's all about second chances. And so the question I'd love to think about is, if we could hit reset right now, how would we want to be living into these days that we have right now and into what God might have for us right now? I can see I'm losing my vision. I'm fighting sleep and I can't find myself. I can feel this gravity slipping, yeah. I'm headed for a fallout, I can tell. And I wish that I could start again. I wish I knew not what I knew back then. Is it too late for a second chance?
at innocence. Can I start again? Can I start again? I could tell I'm over my limit. Yet there's nothing left for me to second guess. Losing sight of shore, I'm sinking or swimming, yeah. I'm out here in the deep, over my head, and I wish that I could start again. I wish I knew now what I knew back then. Is it too late for a second chance at innocence? Can I start again? Can I start again? All these hours that I lost, can you please turn back the clock? Before these doubts became my truth, before these lies they stole my youth, before my dreams were black and white, can you give me one more try? I wish that I could start again. I wish I knew now what I knew back then. Is it too late for a second chance at innocence? Can I start again? Can I start again? Can I start again? Can I start again?
Hey, thank y'all so much for letting me join you tonight. I hope y'all are well, and I hope to see you all very soon.
Hey everyone, my name is Kelly Coleman, and I'm the college director at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. I am so excited to get to be with you guys tonight for truly a historical event. I can't believe it, all of the colleges around the US in one mega club together. Honestly, it's kind of one of my dreams. So I'm so excited about tonight. If you ask anyone on my Young Life team, they'll tell you that spring is my favorite time of year, especially in Young Life. I love it because it's filled with so much hope and so much expectation about the things that are to come. I had a lot of excitement about this semester with Young Life even. The trips we were going to take for spring break, the hangouts we were going to have, all of these different ideas, bonfires, floating the river, talking about real things in living rooms, all of those things. But you guys know better than anyone that the spring has looked completely different than we expected. Instead of a season of fun and excitement, it has felt like a season of loss in a lot of ways. A time of fear, a time of unknown, a time of wondering, how will things ever look the same again? One of my favorite things to do is to garden. And in my backyard right now, I have this giant trumpet vine that covers my back fence. And just as all of this stuff was starting to begin in our country, that trumpet vine began putting out buds for flowers, not yet bloomed, just small buds. And I remember standing on my back porch one day and staring at that vine and going, this feels like my life right now. As I'm getting calls that things are being canceled, that we're going into quarantine, all these things are happening, I looked at this vine and said, this feels like the unknown of what is about to come, sitting on the verge of wondering what's next. Well, a couple of weeks later, we got an unseasonably cold storm that pulled through San Marcos. And it was windy and the temperatures dropped. And I woke up the next morning and I thought to myself, there's no way that all those flower buds made it through the storm last night. In fact, I bet that it is destroyed. Well, I put on my coat and I walked outside. And I was amazed. I looked at the vine, and not only were the buds still there, but the flowers had bloomed, and this entire vine was covered with pink flowers. And guys, it felt like such a clear picture all of a sudden right in front of me. Oh my gosh. The flowers blooming on this vine were not about the environment they were surrounded by. They were not crushed by the storm that came through. They were not crushed by the weather. In fact, they bloomed not because of their environment, but because of the life source that they were connected to. You see, it reminds me of one of my favorite verses in the Bible. It's John 15:5. And it's when Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says, I am the vine and you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. And apart from me, you can do nothing. I don't know about you, but it feels like a lot of the things I find my life and hope in right now are being exposed. And in fact, some of them are failing me. The things that I hope would bring me joy or happiness or fun or make me feel loved or secure are actually being taken away. And these false life sources are dying. I wonder what that is right now in your life. I wonder how that has felt for you. I know for me, it's felt scary. But I think with those things dying, true life shows itself. And I realized in this time, it is not about our environment, the storm around us, because there is a storm happening right now in our world, our country, and maybe even our homes. That it's not about that, but it is the life source we are connected to. Guys, you are invited to find true life in Jesus. Young Life College is about community, adventure, and significance. And all of those things, while they may look different right now, they're still there because Jesus is the life source of all of those. They have not gone away. I know I speak for the other college directors when I say, we love you, we see what's happening, and we want to walk through this with you. So whatever is your fear, whatever your hardship right now, there is always hope in Jesus.
You're the resurrection that we've waited for. You buried the night and came with the morning. You're the King of heaven, the praise is yours. The longer the quiet, the louder the chorus. Song, his dead is dead and gone with the winner. We will sing a new song, let hallelujahs flow like a river. We're coming back to life, reaching toward the light. Your love is like springtime. You're the living water, God, we thirst for you. The dry and the barren will flower and bloom. You're the sun that's shining, you restore my soul. The deeper you call us, oh, the deeper we'll go. We will sing a new song, dead is dead and gone with the winter. We will sing a new song, and hallelujahs flow like a river. We're coming back to life, reaching towards the light. Your love is like springtime. Come tend the soil, come tend the soil of my soul. And like a garden, and like a garden I will grow. I will grow. Come tend the soil, come tend the soil of my soul. And like a garden, and like a garden I will grow. I will grow. I will towards the light. Your love is like springtime, like springtime.
Hey y'all, it's Ellie Holcomb.
And Drew Holcomb.
And we are so glad to be joining you on this Young Life Club Zoom call. Honestly, it's really, really good to be here. We love Young Life. It's been a huge part of both of our stories, and we love that you're involved with Young Life, and we're glad to be here with you.
We are, and we always feel like Young Life is kind of like a big family.
That's right.
So we thought we'd start with a song called Family. All right, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Family, singing in the kitchen. Family, running through the yard. Family, going on vacation. Family, on a credit card. Family, all in this together. Family, we're taking a chance. Family, like birds of a feather. Family, kick off your shoes and dance. Hey!
right.
We hope Young Life feels like family to y'all too. If there's anything that I could go back in college and do differently, it would have been to be a part of Young Life like you are. I didn't really know what it was, and I always tell people I'm married into Young Life. And so I just hope you're having the best time with it ever, even though times look a little different right now.
Yep, a little strange, not being able to gather in large groups. Sort of a big part of the fun of Young Life is getting together in big groups and, hugging it out with people. Even your
Rubbing people's beards,
Scratchy husband's beard. Your husband's scratchy beard. That's what I meant to say.
Your scratchy husband's beard.
So this is a song, Ellie and I spent a lot of summers at Young Life Camp singing to high school kids, maybe even some of you guys. And we love that. And this is a song I wrote actually for years and years ago for my nieces and my nephews who at the time were very little. I found out they were moving, my sister and her husband were moving from Nashville where we were and got to see them all the time and moving to a different country for 7 years. My brother-in-law got a job at a school, and so I got really sort of melancholy about it, and then decided to write a song, sort of a letter. The song is kind of a love letter to my nieces and nephews, and it's become a song really for anybody that kind of wanting you guys to know, or wanting whoever's listening to the song to know that you're not alone, that you have people that love you, care about you, even if it's through a Zoom call or a phone call or a text. Reach out if you need help, need somebody to pay attention to you. Also to let you know you're never alone because God loves you. And that's like the best story ever. The story of how he sent his son to come down here and make everything right, to beat death, and to give us a new hope and a story worth being a part of. So this is a song for all you guys out there, wherever you are in the country. Good luck running through this thing, and
we hope this song will help kick back at the darkness with a little bit of light.
There you go. It's called Live Forever. Laughter is the only thing that'll keep you sane. And this world is crying more and more every day. Don't let evil get you down in this madness spinning round and round. I want you to live forever underneath the sky so blue. Some people say faith is a childish game. Play on children like it's Christmas Day. Sing me a song, sing me a melody, sing out loud, you're a symphony. I want you to live forever underneath the sky so blue. I want you to live forever underneath the sky so blue. So take courage when the road is long. Don't ever forget you are never alone. I won't
I want you to live forever. We love you guys.
Yes, we'll see you soon.
Hey, what's up, Young Life family? My name is Bob Dalton, and I'm excited to share with you guys today. We have 231 schools listening in, 50 states, and the first ever College Young Life National Club. I didn't think it was going to be like this, but we're going to have fun nonetheless. Obviously, crazy times with COVID-19, and we're all quarantined right now, but I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit about my backstory, how I'm a Young Life kid at heart, and share with you guys a story that has really inspired me over this last month, this last season. So I grew up going to Young Life. I went to my first Young Life club sophomore year in high school, and my first club was pretty crazy. I went in there, had no idea what to expect. I thought it was just going to be another youth group, and all of a sudden the song Footloose comes on. Footloose, cut loose, and all of a sudden my Young Life leader comes running in, and he's got like neon clothes on, and he like throws this ball on the ground, and it like hits the ground, hits the ceiling, hits the ground, he catches it, and I'm like, what in the world is this madness right now? It's a circus in here. And there was like a game going on, there was a skit and everything, and then at the very end he would get up in front of all of us and he'd share like 15 minutes about a story of Jesus. And I heard stories of Jesus and sermons and everything in the past, but what was unique about this was he told it in such a beautiful way. It was really authentic, it was really heartfelt, and really connected with me as a kid. And what was even more beautiful is as I got to know this guy who was this Young Life leader, the stories were even that much more powerful. He really demonstrated what he was talking about. He would go to our games and work out with us after school, and he'd have us over to his house for dinner. And it was just such a powerful season in my life where I really not only got to hear stories of Jesus, but I got to see somebody demonstrate the love of God in really practical ways through the way he led, how he engaged with his family, and how he connected with us and built relationships with us. So that's really when I really started taking my faith serious. And he made such an impact on me personally. He gave me my first opportunity to speak on stage. He said, hey, Bob, I'm going to give you an opportunity to give your first club talk. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. He goes, it's the cross talk. And it was the biggest talk of the year. And he gave me that opportunity. I remember sitting at a coffee shop with him one day when I was a senior in high school. And I said, Todd, I want to be a leader. And he looked across the table and he said, you are a leader. It was the first time somebody spoke that into me and really gave me the confidence of that God has a plan for my life, that he wanted to use me in a certain way. And so shout out to Todd Tardy, my Young Life leader. Such a huge impact, and every Father's Day I shoot him a text and I thank him for how much of an impact he's made in my life. After high school, I went and did summer staff at Washington Family Ranch in Oregon, and had a time of my life, got to connect with a bunch of people. It was really a memorable month for me, and it was really the month that I was convinced I wanted to do Young Life work. And so I moved from where I was living, where I grew up, Coos Bay, Oregon, a little fisherman town in Oregon, and I moved to Monmouth, Oregon. It was in the valley of Oregon, and there was no Young Life there. And I thought, okay, I want to start a Young Life. I want to do Young Life work. So I got a part-time job slinging phones at AT&T. I wanted to be a part of starting Young Life, but I had no idea what I was doing. I just was willing. And maybe you've been in that place, you're like starting something new, or you started something in the past, and I was sitting under the stars like, God, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm willing. And I'm sure many of you guys have prayed that prayer before. So wanted to start Young Life Club, and the reality is, even though I was willing and I was in a new area, I pretty much cowered out. And there was this one day I was walking down the river with my guitar, going to sing sad songs to God, and there was this like table, this picnic table of kids sitting there, like known as what some may say punk rockers. They had like mohawks, they were like jamming out on their guitars, they're smoking cigarettes. And I remember thinking, like, this is my opportunity to meet a group of kids and do contact work. So as I'm walking up to this table, I totally bailed out and I just walked right by it. I totally chickened out. And I just hear, like, behind me, they're like, hey. And I turn around and they're like, "You jam, bro?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I play guitar." And they're like, "Come jam with us, bro." And so I actually get some of the credit for starting Young Life Club in Monmouth, but the reality is this group of kids at this picnic table in the park actually were the ones that started Young Life in Monmouth. But I went over there, hung out with them, I jammed with them, and one of the kids called his mom. It's like, "Mom, can I have my new youth pastor come over to my house and jam this week?" And it was just instant connection with those guys. And I even drove one of them home and dropped him off at his house that evening. And we sat in my car and we talked for like 2 hours. He shared a story with me, and I remember, I'll never forget, he was getting out of my car and he was like, "You're the best friend I ever had." And this is a kid I just met, just poured his heart out. And I listened, and that was it. And that's when I knew and was convinced, like, this is ministry worthwhile. And so started my first Young Life Club after I got to get to know enough kids, like 15, 20 kids. We started our first Young Life Club in like a rundown pizza parlor. About halfway through the club, I'm like playing a song by like NSYNC or something. And all my kids just walk straight out of club, like halfway through club. And they're all sitting outside and smoking cigarette. And I was like, "Hey guys, you guys want to come in and finish Young Life Club? Like, we got about halfway through club and there's more to be had." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna come in, but after the smoke break." So I'd hang out with them for their smoke break, and then we went in and finished club. And that was my first Young Life Club I'd ever started. And so started Young Life in Monmouth and did that for about 4 years and had the time of my life. There was a lot of life-changing moments for me, a lot of life-changing moments for kids, and I really got to see God move in some beautiful ways, being a part of these kids' lives. And after doing that for about 4 or 5 years, I just knew that it was kind of close of a chapter for me and that I was going to be transitioning into something else. I didn't know what yet, but I knew that I was passionate about speaking. I wanted to be a part of what God was doing. I wanted to be a part of a movement, and I wanted to be a part of just like a creative project. But when you boil all of that down into one, there really isn't a lot of jobs out there other than staying in the nonprofit world or like being a part of the church world. And I just felt like I needed to move on to something else. I remember applying for jobs. Nobody was getting back to me. I'm 24 years old trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life. And at the same time, my mom was going through a really hard time in her life. She had lost her mother and her brother like it would with anybody. It took a massive toll on her, and she started drinking, and her life just went downhill. And she called me up right in that same time period, and she's like, "Bob, I'm doing it. I'm going to move across the United States, and I'm going to start my life over." So she booked a one-way plane ticket from Oregon to Florida. She flies over to Florida with a suitcase and 2 pairs of interview clothes. Flies over there, thinks her aunt's going to take her in. Aunt doesn't take her in. A couple things happen. She ends up living on the streets. Completely changed my paradigm of homelessness. I was always the guy that, even though I was passionate about like making a difference and being a part of ministry and everything, I had zero compassion for people on the street. I remember driving by a guy holding a sign, whispering under my breath, "Go get a job." Had no compassion at all. My mom ends up in that situation, and it completely changed my paradigm and inspired me to call my local homeless shelters to ask what they needed. And they all said blankets. We need blankets. And so I was familiar with the one-for-one business model that Tom's did an incredible job pioneering, but I wanted to take it a step further and make it local. I wanted to localize the one-for-one model and be the first one to do that. And so I came up with the idea that for every blanket that somebody purchases from my company, I'll donate a blanket to that person's local homeless shelter. Gave it a name, Sackcloth and Ashes. And sackcloth and ashes is ancient Jewish symbolism, which means mourning and repentance. So the idea was every time somebody wraps themselves in a blanket, it symbolizes mourning over the homeless population and repentance by contributing to a homeless shelter in their area. And so came up with the idea and had no idea how to start a blanket company. So I drove down to Joann's Fabric, bought a sewing machine and a roll of fabric, tried to learn how to sew, and realized very quickly that I can't sew. And found a lady in my community who could, and she started making blankets and boxing them up. And that was kind of the beginning of the blanket journey. I started sackclothandashes.com on June 1st, 2014. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know, I've never started a business before. I had little to no resources. I drained my savings account of $2,000 to buy a roll of fabric and a sewing machine. So I had no clue what I was doing. And our big break as a company is Instagram reached out to us 5 months into business. And they were like, Bob, we love your story. We love what you're doing. We want to feature you on Instagram. So 5 months into business, the day before Black Friday in November of 14, Instagram posts about us on their feed to 42 million people, and it blew up. And that's where we got our first big break. For the next 4 years, I built the brand on social media and pretty much drove all of our online traffic through our Instagram and Facebook, and kind of making it up as I go and trying to really set the bar in high quality content, and that was about it. In 2018, we launched our first major campaign called Blanket the United States, and our goal is to donate 1 million blankets to homeless shelters by 2024. And that opened up the door for us to work with companies around the nation and actively work toward our goal. And I shared the Sackcloth and Ashes story with you because not only did Young Life have a major part in helping form me as a young man, but God used the ministry of Young Life as well to help shape me and equip me to do the work that I'm doing now with Sackcloth and Ashes. And so I just want to share a story with you guys that I've been encouraged by, especially in this time where a lot of people are going through really difficult things. It's a story found in Matthew 14, verses 13 through 21. And it says, when Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat to a solitary place. And what he had heard, what he had found out, is that his cousin had just got killed. His cousin was John the Baptist. And King Herod had just killed John the Baptist, and Jesus found out about this news. And like many people that find out some tragic news, he was like, I just need some time to process this, to mourn it, to hear it, to kind of think about what just happened. So he got into a boat and he withdrew to a solitary place. Hearing of this, crowds followed him by foot from all of the towns. And when Jesus had landed, he saw the large crowd and he had compassion on them and he healed their sick. And a quote that I kind of live by is by N.T. Wright. And he says, if we want to know more about God, we look at Jesus. If we want to learn more about humanity, about ourselves, we look at Jesus. And the beautiful thing about the character of God shown through Jesus here is that in a time where he could have totally been bothered or inconvenienced by a large crowd of people during a time where he's trying to mourn and grieve his cousin's death, he looked out on this crowd and it says he had compassion on them. And not only did he have compassion on them, he actually went out into the crowd and he healed the sick. In the midst of a difficult time, Jesus spent time with all of those people in a time where he totally was justified to just want to be by himself at that time. So he spent the entire day out into the crowd. Later on in this passage, it says there was over 5,000 people. And if you've ever been in a room with 5,000 people, it's pretty unbelievable, like how many people that is. I was just at Young Life All Staff Conference as a guest, and I was looking out and I remember seeing like, wow, this is 5,000 people. Like this is how many people Jesus was engaging with that day. And it's an amazing amount of people. When everyone is talking, you hear this kind of like roar of a sound of how many people that is. And so he spent the entire day healing the sick. And it says, as evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, this is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so that they can go into the villages and buy themselves some food. So they're in a remote place, which means that they're really not anywhere close to their villages or anything like that. They're kind of up probably next to like a mountainside. And they're like, it's getting dark. And when you have 5,000 people in the pitch dark and you have all of them hungry, I'm assuming some crazy things could happen. So the disciples are like picking up on this, like, hey, we should probably tell people to go back to the villages and find some food because it's getting late and who knows what's going to happen. And Jesus, in a typical Jesus calm way, he says, they don't need to go away. Give them something to eat. Like, he's like, this isn't hard. Like, we don't have to send everybody out to villages and tell them to go find food. Why don't we give them something to eat? And one of the disciples goes, we have only 5 loaves and 3 fish, Jesus. We have 5 loaves of bread and 3 fish. And then as he's saying this, they look over and he kind of points to the bread and the fish. And Peter's over there probably just eating one of the fish. And he goes, they both look at him like, really, Peter? We have 5 loaves and 2 fish now. Thank you very much. Pass over the bread and the fish. So they pass over the bread and the fish. And Jesus says, bring them to me, bring them to me. And he directed the people to sit down in the grass. And taking the 5 loaves and now 2 fish, he holds them up to heaven and he gives thanks for them. And another beautiful thing to point out is that in the character of Jesus is he gave thanks for the little that he had. And he demonstrates that it's not about how much we have or about how little we have. It's about giving thanks for what we do have. So he holds it up, he gives thanks. It says, then he started to break the loaves and give them to the disciples. And the disciples started giving the loaves and the fish to the crowd, to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number that ate were 5,000 men plus the women and children, 5,000 plus people. And so another couple things to point out about this amazing story is that Jesus starts breaking the bread and the fish and starts handing it to his disciples over and over again. And they started taking the bread and the fish and started to pass them out to the crowd until every person in the entire crowd was satisfied and were full. And another thing to point out about this story is that Jesus invites us to be a part of contributing to those in need, and allows us to be a part of this miraculous act. In God's economy, when we choose to be contributors, there's a miraculous multiplication that happens. And that's what I find fascinating about this story, is that there's no explanation of how it happened. There's no logical sense to make of it. But somehow the entire crowd was filled and full by 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish that seemingly just continued to multiply. But it was because Jesus chose to contribute. Jesus totally could have took the bread and the fish and ate it. He could have said, hey, guys, you're right. We only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. Start a fire. That's for us. Tell the crowds to go away. Jesus could have ate and consumed the food, but instead of consuming, he chose to contribute. And we live in a very consumeristic time. We live in a very consumeristic lifestyles. And we're consuming all the time. We're consuming food, we're consuming content, we're consuming material things. And in God's economy, when we choose to be contributors, God does a lot with that. And that's how we know that people are marked and known as people of God, is when we choose to contribute, when we choose to give beyond ourselves. And in a time where a lot of people have lost a lot of things or going through a really difficult time right now in this season, this is an opportunity for us to contribute in really creative and even small ways by taking a look at the little that we have and seeing what we can do with it. So a couple practical things that I've done in this time to be a contributor is about the first half of the week when we found out that COVID-19 shut everything down. I was filled with fear. I was filled with a lot of anxiety. And about halfway through the week, I started asking the questions, what can I do and how can I help? And I started picking up the phone and calling people and asking them, how are you? What can I do? Is there anything that I could do? And even though most of the time there's nothing I could do, and most of the time people were like, yeah, no, there's really nothing you could do for me specifically. It was really empowering. It was encouraging to them, but it also allowed me to start building my strength back up. By just simply putting myself in a mentality and a state of mind of what can I do and how can I help? How can I contribute during this time? Another thing that I've been doing personally is going through on every Friday morning. I go through the McDonald's drive-thru and I buy like 15 to 20 coffees. And my buddy in Oceanside, California, has a trailer that he built and installed showers into, and he offers showers for the homeless in Oceanside, California, in a little church parking lot. And so I've been just picking up like 15, 20 coffees and bringing some blankets down and passing them out, practicing social distancing, wearing masks, the whole nine, but being able to pass out things to people on the streets during this time. The other thing is the Sackcloth and Ashes team decided to, in Salem, Oregon, buy food from a restaurant that's been struggling during this time. Their sales are down by 70%, going through a really hard time. We bought food from them and we chose to donate that food and provide lunch for first responders in our homeless shelter that are showing up every day, exposing themselves to the virus, and all in the name of helping and serving the people that are in their community. So we bought food and provided food for all the people that are working in a homeless shelter in that community. So there's a lot of different creative things that we can do, and there's a lot of different things that we contribute, even if it's a small way. But the goal is, in this time period, is to create more than we are consuming, to contribute more than we are consuming. And it's not bad to be a consumer. We have to consume in order to live. And if you take food as an example, like we have to consume food in order to live. But the question becomes, what are we consuming? How much are we consuming? Is what we're consuming healthy or harmful to us? And I think it's a good practice to ask that as well in every other area in our life when it comes to media and content. How much media and content are we consuming? Is what we're consuming healthy or harmful to us? When it comes to consuming material things, is what we're consuming in this time hurtful or harmful to us, or is it helpful? And so being a consumer is not a bad thing. The question in this season is, are we creating more than we're consuming? Are we contributing more than we're consuming? And in this story of Jesus, he demonstrates to us that in a time where he could have easily consumed and ate, he chose to contribute. And another thing to note about this story is at the very end, there's 12 basketfuls of food left over, and there's 12 disciples. And the disciples who got to be a part of contributing and giving to the crowd and giving to the people that were in need at that time, they were all taken care of. And that's something to note, is that you're always going to be taken care of if you choose to be a contributor. God will always take care of you. So in this season, a couple questions to leave you guys with. I know you're going to break up into Zoom cabin times. And here's a couple questions to discuss as you guys are following up on this story. Number one is, what are you thankful for? It doesn't matter how little you have or how much you have, but what you have, and are you thankful for? What are you thankful for in this season in your life, even if it's very little? Number two is, what can you create during this season that's going to keep you inspired? What are you creating that could be a blessing to others? And the third question is, what are creative things that you can do to contribute to the people in your life, whether that's in your family or the people outside of your family or the people in your community? What are some creative things that you can do to be a contributor in this time? I know that many are going through an incredibly difficult time, and I know that it's easy to fall into that place of, I don't have much to give in this time. I don't have much to offer. But take a look at least of what you do have. Be careful of what you're consuming in this time, and really, really try to create and to contribute and align yourself with what God is doing. And he is a creator and he is a contributor. And you'd be surprised with how inspired you're going to be, how much strength you're going to gain back, and how much love you're going to find that you have when you choose to create and be a contributor for others. God bless you guys in your journey. If you want to stay connected with me personally, or if you have any questions for me, or if you want to simply share ways that you're contributing and you don't want to post it on social media, feel free to email me at bob@sackclothandashes.com. I'd love to stay connected with you guys. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. So much love for you guys, so much love for the ministry of Young Life, and God bless you guys on your journey, and continue to contribute more than you're consuming.
What's up, everybody? My name is Lauren Scott, and I am so excited to be with you all tonight. Some of my favorite memories over the past few years have been with Young Life College, and so really stoked that we get to be together virtually, if you will. And I'm also really grateful for the talk that Bob just shared. It really resonated with me, and I hope that it resonated with you too. So a few weeks ago, I was with some friends, and we were just talking and thinking about how amazing it would be if every single human on the planet, no matter what they looked like, where they were from, what mistakes they'd made, if they truly knew and believed that Jesus has made a place for every single one of us in his heart and in his house. And so we wrote this song together, and the chorus just says, "In your house, you've made room, there's a place for me." And I pray tonight that if you don't know that the Lord shows that to you, that you believe that about your life from here on out, that no matter where you've been, what you've done, what you've seen, that you are radically loved by him, and that he has made a place in his kingdom and in his heart for you. And there's nothing you could do to change that. So this song is called Place for Me. In the beginning, you created all and called it good, good. Then you raised me up from the dust and called it good, good, good. And no matter what I've done or seen, no matter who I am, in your house you've made room. There's a place for me. There's a place for me. There is love and there is life. There's a place for me. There's a place for me in your house. Oh, in your house. When I was hiding, you called my name and brought me home, home, home. When I was running, you chased me down and brought me home, oh. So no matter what I've done or seen, no matter who I am, 'cause in your house you've made room. There's a place for me. There's a place for me. There is love and there is life. There's a place for me. There's a place for me in your house. You never run out of room. You never run out of room. No, no, you never run out. There's a place for me and a place for you. You never run out of room. You never run out of room. No, no, you never run out. 'Cause there's a place for me and a place for you. Oh, he never runs out of room. He never runs out of room. No, no, he never runs out. 'Cause there's a place for you in your house. You've made room. There's a place for me. There's a place for me. And there is love and there is life. There's a place place for me. There's a place for me in your house.
Greetings from Colorado Springs. This is Newton Susan Crenshaw, and we are so excited to be a small part of such a large gathering of Young Life College and University from all around the world.
We know that this has been a difficult and uncertain time for you, and we want to just encourage you guys to hang in there. There are two gospel truths that I've been encouraging myself with that I want to share with you. The first is that God is in this. The God who created the universe and is your heavenly Father who loves you is reigning over all these circumstances and has good purposes for them. The second is that He is in us. As believers in Jesus Christ, we have the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is our helper. He is the Spirit of Jesus who is full of unfailing love and faithfulness, and He will equip you for all that you need.
And the fundamental thing that the Holy Spirit does in each of our lives is to reinforce the most fundamental truth in all the universe, and that is that Jesus is Lord. And that's why we've gathered, and that's why we do what we do in Young Life. And I'm so excited to be following our Lord Jesus in this time. And I'm also so glad that each of you have said yes to Young Life College and University. Whether you're a staff person, a committee member, a donor, or a student, I believe you've made the right choice, and you're going to be so glad that you've joined up to follow Jesus as Lord in Young Life College and University, not only because it will transform your life, but transform so many others around the world.
We are so glad that you're part of Young Life in College. God bless you.
God bless you all.
This horizon, it's shining. Seems the daylight knows this is our time now. Where we're going, these dreams we're holding. Oh, and now we know it. All the world is ours to take. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever starts today. This adventure we were meant for. Every day is a chance to discover. You give me reason through every season. Together we can do anything we believe in. All the world is ours to take. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever starts. Through it all, the world we face. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever starts today. This horizon, oh, it's shining. It seems the daylight knows this is our time. All the world is ours to take. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever starts. Through it all, the world we face. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever starts today. Forever starts today.
She was a good companion, eyes like the Grand Canyon. She was an American beauty. She was a long goodbye. She was the best I lived by. She was an American beauty. With her wafers on in the summer sun, her touch felt like a loaded gun. Wish I had held her longer. Wish I had held her longer. A gorgeous vagabond. She was sweet, but she was strong. She was an American beauty. She was deja vu. She was a catch-22. She was an American beauty. Her blue eyes shine in the summer sun. Her kiss felt like a loaded gun. Wish I had held her longer. Wish I had held her longer. Like the morning sun, she fired shots from a loaded gun. Wish I had held her longer. Wish I had held her longer. She was a good companion, eyes like the Grand Canyon. She was an American beauty.